What's up, people? Back with another reaction, back with some more soundtrack score, and we're back with another tune from the soundtrack to Death Note, the anime from '06, released here in the US again via a Canadian distributing company, which brought in English language voice actors to do a very good dub. But yeah, basically we're gonna listen. I won't give as much setup. If you want to hear my setup about Death Note, the franchise, and this particular version, and sort of my interaction with it, check the sort of lengthy intro of the reaction I did to the Kyrie. But assuming that you've seen that, we'll jump right into this. This is L, the investigator's second theme. There's a couple themes that they use for him, and this is called L's theme B. It's the 11th tune on the soundtrack, the first soundtrack for Death Note, meaning it's composed and arranged by Hideki Tanuichi. Again, I recently learned that there's two guys that worked on the soundtrack. I knew that back from when I had the disc, but I didn't realize that like the first half of it is done by one of the guys, Hideki Tanuichi, and the second half is done by Yoshihisa Hirano. So yeah, this piece is done by Hideki Tanuichi. It's called L's Theme B. And I love it because it has this sort of blend of different elements. I would say most fundamentally it's maybe like, I don't know, sort of instrumental rock. But what I really enjoy is that it has this main melody, which I think is primarily articulated by a guitar, maybe played like harmonically, because it has this very like sort of like melodic and kind of plucky sort of sound, instead of like a big strum like chord. But yeah, I think the main articulation of the melody is a guitar, but I think it's supplemented and even doubled by like a synth or like a keyboard like articulation of the same melody, or again like a supplemental accompaniment of the like guitar melody. So again, I think that's sort of the main theme, but there's also like a more traditional guitar riff that has kind of like a brum 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 brum. So it's like, again, I would say instrumental rock is kind of where the theme is, but again, if you've seen the show, it really does give off that like, oh, they're working on clues, they're trying to figure out what's going on. They're, it's often done in these, maybe not montages, some of them it is a scene with dialogue in like real time, but it's often when the investigative team are trying to pore over the leads and look at new patterns of like who Kira is killing, because again he's killing like literally hundreds of thousands or millions of people by the time the show progresses, because there's broadcast, he basically like blackmails TV stations into broadcasting the names of recently arrested or convicted criminals, and then he'll just kill them all. So it's this crazy story, but like I said, often when you hear this tune, it's when L and the other investigators are trying to like piece together the leads, although again, Light is one of the investigators investigating himself for a large part of the show, so it's oh so complicated and fantastic, but let's get to it. This is L's theme B, the second L theme, if you will, on the first soundtrack for Death Note 2006, and as I said, it's composed by Hideki Tanuichi. Snare. There's a snare coming, I know it. Tune, man. Didn't remember the bass being so prominent. kind of has like jazz rock stylings and the sort of like idiosyncratic progression and structure. And it evaporates. Like I said, not only do I think that's just a banging tune, you know, of its own regard, it is impossible for me to hear it without, you know, thinking of some of the scenes where it plays in the show. And again, I would highly recommend Death Note. If you've never heard of it, if you've never seen it, it's worth the journey. You know, it's like 26 episodes. It's a like traditional anime. You know, a lot of animes that like get popular and successful, they'll run for, it's like 26, 27 episodes, I think is sort of like standard. It might even have like 29, I think, now that I'm remembering. I think it's 29. So, you know, and they're all like 20, 22 minutes long, like 30 minutes, like, but with no commercials, basically. So it's a bit of a journey, but it's worth the journey. I would say, you know, in many ways it's sad, but yeah, it's also very compelling. So yeah, if you haven't seen it, I would recommend checking it out. But yeah, let me know what you think of the tune. Let me know if like instrumental rock or like instrumental jazz rock is kind of where you would put that. And yeah, other than that, I will see you next time. Peace.